What happens when a woman walks away from a man and then watches him become everything the world said he would never be, only now she's not beside him anymore? No, seriously, what happens when the tables flip so violently that the entire internet starts whispering the same thing at once? She fumbled badly.
Hey, tell Steve Harvey I don't want her.
Stuff to yourself and keeping it private. And learning, when...
like he say, like if we going through something, we'll call each other. Because we feel for each other. Because we know the real person.
Right, yeah.
I know they lying about you online.
And just like that, the tension snaps into place. Because this isn't just about a breakup anymore. This feels like a timeline gone wrong. A decision that aged terribly. And the loudest part? The silence from the one man at the center of it all. Michael B. Jordan didn't clap back, didn't respond, didn't even acknowledge the chaos swirling around his name. And that silence? It's not peaceful. It's deafening. It's calculated. It's telling. Because while the internet is dragging Lori Harvey into this narrative of regret, there's another voice creeping in from the shadows. Future. Yes, that Future. The same man who once had his own messy chapter with Lori. The same one who publicly disrespected her, aired her out, turned their breakup into lyrical warfare. Now suddenly, he's back, watching, commenting, stirring the pot like it's his full-time job. Why now? Why when Michael wins the biggest award of his career? Why when Lori's name starts trending again, but not for the reasons she'd want? Is this coincidence, or is this calculated timing? Because let's rewind for a second. Lori leaves Future, clean exit, no drama, at least from her side. Then, almost immediately, she moves on to Michael B. Jordan, and that's when things start getting weird. Future didn't just move on, he reacted, hard. Songs, captions, leaked verses, he turned their breakup into a spectacle. And now, years later, when Michael is sitting on top of Hollywood with an Oscar in hand, Future suddenly has opinions again? That's not random, that's patterned behavior. And here's where it gets messier. The narrative online is shifting, fast. Because back when Lori and Michael broke up, people were saying he fumbled her. She was the prize. She set the standard. She walked away. But now the same voices are flipping the script, saying she lost the one man who was actually building something real, saying she walked away from stability, from growth, from a man who was leveling up quietly. So which version is true? Because if you listen closely, there's something off about how this entire story unfolded. The timing, the reactions, the sudden resurfacing of old tensions, and most importantly, the alleged attempts to reconnect. Because whispers started leaking, quietly at first, that Lori had been trying to reach out to Michael, not just after the Oscar, before it, repeatedly. Calls unanswered, messages ignored, and Michael still silent. Now ask yourself, if everything ended cleanly, why would there be this sudden urgency to reconnect? Why now? Why when his value, his visibility, his power has skyrocketed? Because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Success changes perception. It rewrites history. It makes people revisit decisions they were once confident about. And suddenly, what looked like independence starts looking like regret. But wait, because the story doesn't stop there. There's another layer, a quieter one, the kind that doesn't scream but lingers in the background like unfinished business. Lori didn't just walk away quietly. There were subtle jabs, posts, indirect comments, narratives that painted Michael in a very specific light, while he chose not to respond. And that silence again, it wasn't weakness, it was distance, strategic distance. So now when the tables turn, when he's on top, when she's allegedly reaching out, and he's still not answering, what does that tell you? Is this closure, or is this unfinished tension playing out in real time? And then there's Future, hovering in the background like a ghost from the past who refuses to stay buried. Why is he still invested? Why is he still reacting? Is this about Lori, or is this about Michael? Because let's not forget, he once called Michael a lame, and now that same man is an Oscar winner. The same man he dismissed is now untouchable. That has to sting. So now we're left with a triangle of silence, shade, and speculation. Lori trying or allegedly trying to reconnect, Michael ignoring, Future inserting himself back into the narrative, and the internet watching every move like it's a live drama unfolding without a script. But the real question is, what actually happened behind the scenes that we didn't see? Because something doesn't add up. And the deeper you look, the more it starts to feel like this story was never as simple as a breakup. Because just when you think the story has already reached its peak, it twists again. And this time, it gets personal. Not just between two people, but between families, reputations, and carefully crafted images that suddenly start cracking under pressure.
she wasn't ready, because when a woman finds a good one, then that's what you're looking for. But I will say that she's young still, you know what I mean? And I too was looking forward to them making it, because I thought, oh, you know what? She's been looking for someone to keep on her arm, to be able to have a relationship with that is meaningful and is successful, because we know that the girl gonna keep her somebody that is gonna be newsworthy, you know. But I think,
damn, Lisa, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she ain't no joke. She ain't. And her mama, Marjorie, my girlfriend, she gonna make sure that she doing and navigating the right way, because she gonna make sure that she is. And I think every mother should do that, you know. But I think at the same time, she's young. I think the established relationship that Michael did have before this one, I think that maybe that social media, that all of that was a lot for him. And I think that he, you know, I heard about his ex, and him was so serious that he may have missed.
And there it is. Not loud, not explosive, but subtle, sharp, intentional. The kind of shade that doesn't scream, it lingers, it sits in your mind. Because when a mother steps into the narrative like that, it changes everything. It's no longer just a relationship gone wrong. It becomes a position, a stance, a message being sent without directly naming names. And Lori, she didn't exactly pull back. That dump him post, that wasn't random, that wasn't careless, that was deliberate. A signal, a statement. But here's where things start to unravel. Because for someone who was allegedly so certain, so confident in walking away, why does the tone feel so different now? Why does the energy feel reversed? Think about it. Back then, the narrative was controlled, carefully curated. Michael was painted as not meeting expectations, as someone who didn't align with her standards. And yet, when you dig deeper, the contradictions start stacking up. Because during the relationship, she was saying something completely different, talking about how attentive he was, how he listened, how he showed up in small, meaningful ways. So what changed? What flipped so drastically that the same man went from ideal to not enough? Was it really about compatibility? Or was it timing? Because timing is everything in this story.
Just listens to me when I talk. Like even, the other day I had just been saying I really wanted to go to a farmer's market. And so he called me one morning, Sunday morning. He was like, what are you doing? Get dressed, I'm about to come pick you up. And he took me an hour away. It's this
Just remember that you are the prize.
Yeah,
I'm the prize. What does that mean?
It just means not compromising my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from a situation that is no longer serving me.
Yo, shut up. Imagine calling yourself the prize of you dating Future, baby. That's why I always tell my young G's, their past matters. The type of men that they used to date and they past matters. Imagine saying that I just will never compromise my expectation. Meanwhile, you getting your back twisted and rearranged by a dude like Future.
And now the contradictions hit even harder. Because when you line everything up side by side, it doesn't just look messy, it looks inconsistent. Criticizing one man for not meeting standards, while previously dating someone whose lifestyle openly contradicted everything she claimed to want. And that's where the public starts asking uncomfortable questions, not quietly, but loudly, repeatedly. Was Michael actually the problem, or was he just the wrong man at the wrong moment? Because while all of this was happening, while the posts, the shade, the narratives were being pushed, Michael remained exactly where he was, silent, focused, building. And that's the part nobody paid attention to at the time, because silence doesn't trend, growth doesn't gossip, but results make noise. And when that Oscar landed, everything shifted overnight. Suddenly, the same relationship people once dismissed became the relationship everyone started re-examining. Suddenly, the same man who was questioned became the one being praised. And suddenly, Lori's position in that story didn't look as strong as it once did. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Because Steve Harvey, yes, her own father, never played into the narrative, never disrespected Michael, never cut him off. In fact, when they crossed paths again, it was normal, friendly, respectful. No tension, no awkwardness, just two men acknowledging each other like nothing ever happened. And that right there, that says more than any post ever could. Because if things were truly as one-sided as they were made to seem, would that kind of interaction even be possible? But then, another twist, another layer. Reports that Lori wasn't exactly comfortable with that interaction, that she didn't want that connection maintained, that she wanted distance even after everything had already ended. Why? What was she trying to control? The narrative? The perception? Or something deeper that we're not being told? Because when you start trying to manage who talks to who, when you start drawing lines after the relationship is already over, it suggests something unresolved, something lingering, something that didn't end as cleanly as it was presented. And all the while, Future is still there, watching, commenting, almost enjoying the chaos. But the question is, why does he care so much? Because this isn't his story anymore, or is it? Because maybe, just maybe, this isn't about Lori at all. Maybe it's about ego, about pride, about watching someone you once dismissed rise to a level you didn't expect. Because let's be real, calling someone a lame only hits differently when that same person is now standing on a stage holding one of the highest honors in the industry. That's not just irony, that's a reversal. And reversals like that, they don't sit well with everyone. So now we're left here, with a story that refuses to settle, with questions that keep multiplying instead of disappearing, with a past that keeps creeping into the present every time something new happens. Because if Michael truly moved on, why does his silence feel so intentional? If Lori truly moved on, why does her name keep circling back to his? And if Future truly moved on, why is he still reacting? 3 people. 3 different paths, but somehow still connected by a story that doesn't feel finished. And maybe that's the real truth hiding underneath all of this noise, that this wasn't just a breakup, it was a turning point, a decision that split timelines, one that led to success, distance, and silence on one side, and questions, speculation, and lingering attention on the other. But the most unsettling part? This story isn't closing, it's evolving. Because as long as there are unanswered calls, unspoken words, and eyes still watching from the sidelines, this isn't over.